recording is started? All right, Kevin, you're on mute. Just to confirm that the recording is started.
I couldn't confirm until I clicked the button, and I couldn't take myself off mute until I confirmed. So yes,
okay,
recording has started.
All right, very good. Okay, hello and welcome everybody to the May 15th, 2025 edition of the KubeStellar community meeting. Thank you all for attending. I'm going to just read off some things here in the beginning logistically. So the way to join us is to go to KubeStellar.io /join us. You can use join_us or join us, one word. It's up to you. That is the way you get access to this specific agenda, and that's the way you get access to artifacts in our Google Docs and other things. If you ask me for permission to have access to this doc, I do not answer it. And the reason why is because Google has a nice way to do that by just joining our group. And you do that at KubeStellar.io /join us. Okay, this meeting and all other meetings that we hold on a bi-weekly basis are hosted at KubeStellar.io /TV. That's our YouTube channel. It's listed here. That YouTube channel has not only our community meetings, but also presentations we've given at previous KubeCons as explainer, and also cool little videos that we've created that are commercials for our own entertainment purposes. We hope you enjoy them. Okay, if you have any meeting agenda topics you'd like to add or impart on this specific agenda or on future agendas, please click on the agenda. You go to KubeStellar.io /agenda, which is this document I'm showing here, and you will have this document. You can add all the little niceties you'd like down inside of our agenda. We are proud members of the CNCF and part of the Sandbox community. And as such, we abide by a code of ethics and a contributor code of conduct. So I read it here. As contributors and maintainers in the CNCF community and in the interest of fostering an open and welcoming community, we pledge to respect all people who contribute through reporting issues, posting feature requests, updating documentation, submitting pull requests or patches, and other activities. We are committed to making participation in the CNCF community a harassment-free experience for everyone, regardless of level of experience, gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, disability, personal appearance, body size, ethnicity, race, age, religion, or nationality. In short, that whole spiel means please be nice to each other. We could use a little more of it. I think you'd all agree. Okay, so again, we're at KubeStellar.io /join us to get access to this meeting document, and at KubeStellar.io /agenda to actually get yourself onto the document. And then you, if you would like, can please leave your name on our sign-in list. That would be great. That lets us know you have access, and it lets us know that you care and you are happy to show up. We'd love to have that there. Okay, so just to get started, you can add items to the end of this agenda at any time if you'd like, or you just raise your hand and we'd be happy to entertain any comments or questions along the way. All right, preamble done. Let's jump right into it. So KubeCon North America will be in Atlanta, Georgia this year. The CFP, the call for proposals, is open until May 27th. If you are out there, the show itself takes place from November 10th to the 13th. Pre-con was the co-hosted events was just listed. That'll be on November 9th. Let me just put that in here. Co-hosted CFP open November. So we encourage you, if you're listening here and you have experience with KubeStellar or the KubeStellar UI or KubeFlex or any of the other KubeStellar properties, if you'd like to submit a talk at the conference, we'd love to support you. We ourselves are submitting talks as well, and we'd like to, we'll be there on site to answer any questions, hang out, or just grab a beer. So please do go ahead and enter your CFP now. By the time we have this next meeting, I believe the CFP will have expired. So this will be the last meeting we have before that expiration on May 27th. So please go ahead and take care of that now if you'd like. Some things that we'll be talking about there. There's some interesting items that are on the docket. We'll be talking about we hope to be talking about interns for open source. The internship programs have been highly successful here at KubeStellar, and we continue to promote them and take advantage of them. And we think they're great from the LFX. Thank you. And we also will be talking about some CI/CD challenges and things that we've been working on with a new project called LLM-D, and probably some other things that we'd like to insert into pre-con. I know that there's been discussion about talking about Helm and challenges there as well. Okay, so Open Source Summit, we'll be talking there. The discussion will be on interns for open source. I'll be joined by a professor from Valencia College, here, not a panel discussion, but a co-presentation. This will be in Salt Lake City, Utah. We'll be talking about the process of onboarding, finding, onboarding, and mentoring interns, and the value that we obtain and that they obtain as a result of our efforts. So we'd love to see you there. If you're in Salt Lake City for that open source summit in June, we'd love to see you stop by and say hello. All right, KubeStellar's UI update. Well, most of these have centered around internship initiatives. So we've been doing a great job. We're set to release any day now. We have our first release, or 0.1, should be coming out, and it'll be full of features, including, and we're hoping for a backup plugin. And we have things like onboarding new clusters, showing stage workloads, examining logs, execing into pods, all kinds of cool stuff. All the cool things that you'd be used to using in bigger projects, but we brought them to light in the KubeStellar UI for the purpose of staging and distributing your workloads, orchestrating them amongst remote clusters. So we hope to see you all take advantage of that new release when it comes out and is available. Look for it in the next few days. In the LFX space, in the internship, we have subscribed and provided applications to the new internships that are starting for term 2. I believe they start in June. The applications are now open. You may now apply for these internships. There have been 6 projects accepted for us. Kevin, you have a question. You're on mute, Kevin.
That's so you don't hear me drinking my coffee. I just wanted to comment on the UI that I did our spun up one of our little demo clusters, then spun up the UI. I was astonished at how easy it was to just get it running. And this was in WSL, which in the past has given me no end of grief. So I just want to say just how amazing it is to see how well it works, and encourage people to try it if they haven't.
Hey, thanks for the incredible support and comment there. I appreciate it. Yeah, they've been working really hard. All six. Plus, we have people that aren't officially on the internship that are working with them. So I think it's fantastic. Anybody who's interested in this, I just got a comment the other day, Kevin, just on the backside of your comment there. People say that it's rare to find a user interface internship for Linux Foundation. I didn't even think about it. And so apparently, our focus on UX and UI is welcome, not only welcome, but also attracts a lot of people. And there's lots of people out there that want to get involved with Kubernetes that don't necessarily have the skill or time to invest in Kubernetes, but want to find out how to use it. And through the UI, it's kind of a way to get used to doing it and making it easier for others to use it and operate it. So your comments really go a lot further than what you think they do. Thank you.
Well, I've observed this docs design too. So
yes.
That's why we have one of those as one of our internship projects now. So
yeah, so why don't you talk a little bit about that? That's the one at the top there, right? UX UI
right.
Mentorship. Yeah, go ahead.
So several people have commented that our website, while it works, is kind of flat. And especially in comparison to the richness of the UI, there's a disconnect, and we don't document the UI yet. So this first internship is to actually further develop the user-facing presentation of both the user interface and our website so that they complement each other, and maintaining an adequate semantic structure so you can find things, but are a little less flat. And then there will be sections which are still just flat user guides, because sometimes that's the easiest way to get things. But we want a look and feel that works all the way across everything that's got in the KubeStellar universe is really what we want.
Fantastic. Okay, so yeah, so the skills that we're looking for in this space, things like responsive design, visual consistency, of course, having an open source mindset is always helpful. Developer collaboration. We're going to be doing a lot of things in React with Node, so that's also very attractive for many people. Figma is probably, I've seen a lot of people using Figma, so I think this is a common way for people to talk about design language. And so there should be a lot of folks out there willing to take you up on this. So I think, yeah, you should have a lot of applicants here. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, the next three are interesting in the aspect that they are all being run by previous interns. Yes, I'm along for the ride on many of those, but there's a few of them out there that are being run directly by interns that have climbed the contributor ladder successfully and have become mentors. I think this is a fantastic way to promote people from within in an open source community, and it's really incredible. So out of the 6 people that we had for internships in the spring, 2 of them decided to stay on as A, mentors, and B, as full-blown maintainers of the KubeStellar UI. That's an incredible success story, I think, in anybody's book. So the first one is building a marketplace for KubeStellar plugins. So just just to briefly describe what this is for. So in the KubeStellar UI, you have, let me see if I can even bring it up here. Yes, I can. Okay. Well, right now it's on that. Okay. So let's leave that alone for now. So in the KubeStellar UI, you have the ability to look at stage workloads, remote workloads, binding policies, etc., those kinds of things. But we know that there'll be lots of people looking to extend the functionality of KubeStellar. So KubeStellar is more of if you can think of it as the mechanical aspects that are shimmed on top of Kubernetes to help you extend Kubernetes to be multi-cluster aware and multi-cluster orchestrated. So the idea here is now take advantage of the idea that we've got these underlying mechanics and that they work seamlessly, and then build upon those things as a platform, right? Let's build some things like backups, discovering clusters, installing new plugins. So think about what it was like when CI was in its infancy, continuous integration, and you were building these things that like people were like, oh, I don't know, I need to be able to check out files from GitHub. Well, instead of everybody reinventing that over and over again, why didn't we have a plugin for that? And that's where you had things like Jenkins came to the forefront. Jenkins was one of the first CI tools that incorporated this dynamic plugin utility. And really, more or less what we want to do now with KubeStellar is model ourselves after the success of Jenkins in this plugin space and allow people to plug in things, not only that to take in and leverage things in the user interface, but also can leverage the underlying mechanics of KubeStellar in a way that's seamless and effortless. So we look forward. That's a really big project, and we're looking forward to others to jump on board there. Let me see if I can get back to. There we go. This is it. Oh, okay, I jumped away. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's one of them, building a marketplace. The next one is implementing a model context protocol, KubeStellar MCP server. So if you're familiar, the big terminology or the big terms these days in AI, one of them is agents, and so the ability for you to type something into a GPT, let's say completion, to ask a GPT to do a couple of different tasks for you. Well, the way those tasks are done, similar to how you would formulate research on the web, is they interact with what's called agents. And you can think of agents as just being nothing more than an API set for different tools and utilities that are in either open source or regular enterprise products. And they make it easier for GPTs to interact with them in a way that that surfaces the important parts that can be used in conversation to drive actions and at the atomic level. So the things that we'd like to do is to have it possible for KubeStellar to expose itself as an agent that can be used in combination with other GPTs. Claude has made this, a lot easier to grasp. Claude AI and lots of other things like agentic have sprung up as a result of this. This is a very hot technology. It's the follow-on to regs, so to speak. So that's that internship. That should be very interesting to see how that develops. The next internship is KubeStellar UI enhancements and marketplace integration. And so the basic gist of this is that the UI itself today is in the form that it's in, and 6 or 7 or 8 people, maybe as many as 10, have implemented different features and functions and bug fixes for that UI. And as a result, there's been some inconsistency, of course, you would expect as people are feverishly banging away at keyboards. And so the idea is to make the UI, improve the UI in different aspects, create different ways of categorizing information in the user interface, and et cetera. Also, doing things like guided setup for installation. That was one of the things that you just saw there. That's a preview of what that might look like. And so there are lots of things on the table for that specific. And of course, there's this UI UX enhancements. These are off the backside of what Kevin's working on with Andrea. They may implement some of the changes that are discussed or suggested, and different things like including the marketplace that we just talked about for the integrations. So those are the things that you'll likely see pop out of that specific internship. We have our 5th internship. This is extending KubeFlex. So I think that is Paolo on the line? I don't know if I see him. Paolo's on. Paolo, would you mind explaining what the focus is, Paolo and Braulio, what the focus is of the KubeFlex internship?
Yeah, sure. Right here. So yes, this was really a way to extend KubeFlex beyond some of the existing control plane types that we already support. So we already have a number of types of control plane today. For example, at the default kind of streamlined Kubernetes API server, the K8s control plane, and that's probably sort of the bread and butter of KubeFlex. The idea for that is just to be able to run controllers, not run any pods or anything. We support also like vCluster, so that is used today, for example, for the kind of transport workspace space kind of thing, because you can create pods as well there. But one thing, we have also the host type. One thing we wanted to also support this, we have kind of a new use case where we want essentially to use KubeFlex to be able to create kind of a set of isolated clusters where we sort of centralize the control plane in one place. So we have pretty much the API server, the scheduler, controllers running as pods in namespaces in the hosting cluster. And then we have the ability to add nodes and essentially get clusters that are sharing essentially a hosting cluster control plane, but we have separate nodes. And that's pretty much the goal of doing this, right? We want to be able to add this new type of control plane and also have the ability to basically add nodes to that, right? We have some interesting use case coming also in the kind of AI space for this. And that's pretty much where we are really thinking to bring this kind of scenario.
Thank you, Paolo. Okay, and Paolo and Braulio is also on the call. Will be hosting or mentoring this specific internship. I beg all of you, if anyone wants to learn anything about Kubernetes, in a very advanced way, I can't think of two better people to be mentors than Braulio and Paolo. You'll have a fantastic team there. Okay, thank you. And lastly, there is one more internship through the LFX. This is to help us overcome some of the challenges that are associated with Helm. And so there's some interest in this because what's nice about this is this isn't often thought of as a core subject matter inside most open source projects. You have things that people in open source projects have to use. Like, in other words, all of us use continuous integration or continuous delivery mechanisms, which are GitHub actions. Lots of us use installers that, have to come with like brew or something like that. And Helm is, to say the least, one of the de facto standards that we have to use. And so there's not yet a challenger to it, and I'm sure there will be in the future, but today this is where we are. So whenever you get in a position like this where you need you're developing a new technology in the open source community and you need help doing things with bigger projects that don't really necessarily have the support for you or the time to help you, then you have to build out your own support for that. And the nice part about it is because it's open source is we can PR or fork Helm in whichever way we want and make updates and changes and try to sell those back to the community in a way that is productive and constructive. So this is an interesting internship in the sense that you're primarily working with Helm, even though it's under the umbrella of KubeStellar and how to help it make changes and updates to help itself. So I think that's a really incredible opportunity there as well. Okay, and lastly, we have the Google Summer of Code. We have one project accepted there, and this is on the automation of benchmarking for the KubeStellar data plane. So I think Braulio is the one heading this up. So Braulio, would you like to talk a little bit about what this internship is for? I know we've already accepted our candidate, but give the people out there a little idea of what we're working on.
Sure. So this internship is highlight to extend our tools to monitor the performance of KubeStellar per se. We have a bunch of tools, monitoring tools that you can now deploy to observe the behavior and performance of the KubeStellar control plane components. We have a Grafana dashboard that you can see how the impact of the impact and overhead of certain workloads on the control plane in real time. So the goal of this internship is to extend those tools to monitor the KubeStellar data plane per se. For example, we want our users to be able to observe the end-to-end latency of workloads as they are deployed on the cluster. So in real time, and in addition to others more in details metrics just specific for the data plane. So in this way, gonna give us a full view of the performance of the KubeStellar as a hosting application and help us to identify and performance bottlenecks in real time.
Yeah, this is another fantastic opportunity that integrates with a couple of different things for tangentially around the mechanics of KubeStellar, right? So you get the interaction with instrumenting the code base. You have the ability to surface that through tools like Prometheus and to visualize them through things like Grafana and also a plugin to be developed for the KubeStellar UI. So I think this is great, Braulio. Anything else you would add?
No, thank you. Thanks, Andy.
Okay. So that's our internships, and we also have another set of folks that are going to join us as well from the University of Georgia Tech, and those folks will be working on something we call here affectionately comprehensive multi-cluster, which you can think of it as if you're ever using kubectl to get the nodes that are in your KubeStellar cluster, your Kubernetes cluster, you'll note that you get, one master, a couple of workers, etc., maybe some GPU nodes or something like that. But for the most part, you're isolated to be working within that specific cluster. Well, imagine if you could do something as simple as kubectl get nodes, and all the nodes that are in a KubeStellar universe would show up. And that KubeStellar universe would include all kinds of remote clusters anywhere in the world. and maybe not on the planet itself, right? So that's our hope, is that we can somehow unify the kubectl interface and even the OpenShift ctl interface, such that it can look at multiple clusters wherever they may exist, and so that your context can be instantly switched, and you don't have to worry about, you can move about a little bit more comprehensively without having to think about the fact that there are multiple clusters. And that may go a long way in trying to make things easier for people to use multi-cluster as a regular everyday part of their operational capability. So I think that's the general goal of working with those folks from Georgia Tech, and we welcome them on board. We're going to have a graduate student and 2 undergraduate students, and their goal is going to be to make the Kubernetes kubectl interface transparent in terms of the way it works with the KubeStellar the underpinnings and the mechanics of KubeStellar, to make multi-cluster seem just as easy to work with as it is a single cluster. So stay tuned for more on that. Okay, any comments or questions on anything having to do with the internships? If not, I'll move on to more things here. Okay. All right, good. All right, let's move on. So the next things up, we have 0.27.2. The patch release is out. We have the ability to use pre-existing clusters as an inventory transport space. We've bracketed the min and max release of KubeFlex to be more flexible, and we don't use Docker Hub anymore. We're using Quay and GHCR.io. This is to remove rate limiting issues that we were noticing from the oodles and oodles of people that have been trying out our project. Upcoming, we have an upgrade campaign, and we're moving to Kube 1.3. It's a slow-moving train, but we're moving along on it. We have a PR open for long-run testing and long-run scale testing. Braulio is heading that up using Cluster Loader 2. Benchmarking is using KubeBurner, and we have our integration with Argo CD. Franco's been working on that, and that's been coming along. We just moved away from using KCP's PROW instance for our continuous integration in our repository. We are now using our own private cluster, and we're using PROW of KubeStellar's creation. So this is a great accomplishment. We've separated completely from Quick KCP finally. It's been years. We want to thank KCP formally on this call for all the help and support they've given us over the years, and we wish them well on their journey ahead. We have a couple of vulnerabilities that are fixable in the core Helm chart, and we've reduced quite a few of those. We still have a few more to tackle. It's not a lot, it's a few, but it's an ongoing campaign. Still summarization work in progress. Maybe that'll take off in the fall. Maybe there's an internship lurking there. We're looking into multiple simultaneous KubeStellar systems. And we still have also interns from the Cornell SDF program. They're still working on this, and they're still working on confidential computing as a focus for the rest of this year. So we look to do more with them in the upcoming weeks. I think Braulio, could you take a note to discuss with them whether they want to do a poster session at KubeCon NA? Did Braulio? Yeah, we lost him. Okay, I'll talk to Braulio offline. Okay, and so that about wraps it up for us, folks. We've got KubeStellar. We've got a new homepage. Check that out when you get a chance. Ability to use a pre-existing cluster as an ITS, bracketing for KubeFlex releases, and no more pulling from Docker Hub. That's the highlights. And of course, we'll be upgrading to Kube 1.3, updating, removing vulnerabilities out of our code base, and working on status summarization in the upcoming releases. So that's about it for this call. Does anybody have any comments or questions, or would like to weigh in and talk about anything else? All right, folks, I'll go ahead and post this once it's come through to me. Appreciate. Oh, go ahead, Rick. Nui. You're on mute, Nui. There you go.
Yeah. Hi, Andy. Thank you. I just have a question regarding KubeFlex. KubeStellar is making use of a bot on GitHub to manage labels, PR, and so forth. And I was wondering if it will be possible for KubeFlex to use the same bot to have a better management on the issues. Of course, it's just a proposal, but is it something that we can think about?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely a great proposal. I'm speaking before Paulo does because I just want to let you know the mechanics behind it is we can open Prow up to be used in other repos that are in the KubeStellar Galaxy. Go ahead, Paulo.
Yeah, traditionally we are using a Prow from another project because we were kind of associated before with the KCP project. So at that time we couldn't really use, sort of use too much of their hospitality in a way, right? So that's why we limited just to the main KubeStellar repo. But now we have our own Prow instance. And so we should have the ability now to extend this to other projects. Of course, this will take some work, and actually volunteers are accepted if anybody wants to help with that. But that certainly would be a good thing to do.
I actually have it on my my list, Nui, to I have an addition, a change that I need to make to allow it to work GitOps. In other words, when we change a configuration, if you look in KubeStellar/infra, you'll see the Prow configuration. And if you would like to PR against that to add KubeFlex to it, you're more than welcome.
Oh, I can definitely take a look.
Yeah, the pattern's pretty simple. I'm sure you'll figure it out. And then I'm going to be putting it in such that any change that gets approved in that repo will automatically reconfigure our Prow instance without having to fumble around with Kubernetes.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be as simple as a PR.
That would be nice. Yeah, thank you.
All right, great question. Thank you very much. Okay, anybody else want to weigh in? All right, folks. All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry for joining meeting late. Actually, I was busy on something else. So yeah, I see. It seems like previously LFX there were 4 projects, but on the previous meeting we have discussed the 4 projects, but new 2 projects were added. So can you give a brief about that new project?
Which project, Aditya?
It was UI UX mentorship, and it is reducing reliance on kubectl initContainers. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, those are 2 different projects, right? So we have in the UI we have 2 specific there's many projects in there, right? So there's we went over most of those in detail. You might have just missed them. So what I would say is watch the replay of this meeting.
All right.
And you'll get all the details you need. We went through each and every one of those projects.
It is available on YouTube, right?
Yep, I'm going to be posting it on KubeStellar.io/TV in just a few minutes here. As soon as we end the meeting, I'll wait for the recording to settle, and then I'll post it. I usually have it up sometime after noon on today, so about an hour and a half. As soon as the recording is ready, I usually post it.
All right, Andy. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So the best way to get involved, if anybody's out there and listening, just like Aditya, is to the mentors are listed on each one of those project ideas for a reason, right? So contact those. Go to our Slack channel at KubeStellar-dev. That is the Slack channel that we use to communicate with all of our contributors. It's in the Kubernetes organization. So you can go to the Kubernetes organization and get a Slack channel invite or Slack organization invite, and then you can come join us at KubeStellar-dev. Once you're there, you can interact directly with the contributors, and the contributors that are located in that channel are the ones that are the mentors for those programs. So, for instance, Franco, who's mentoring the Helm specifics for reducing the reliance on kubectl and Helm, that one is there. You can speak directly to Franco. He's already been interacting with some folks there on that idea. And then the way to you want to make your name known. So the idea here is to read the proposal, the project idea, look for the issues that are associated with it, determine how you might fix those issues, and then start to do some level of pull request against those. And then we get to see how you're able to A, comprehend the issue, B, reason through the issue, and C, attempt to fix the issue. And once we know how you operate, we make a judgment call as to, hey, does that align well with the rest of the community's needs? And typically the case, if you're working as you're putting in an application with the CNCF, typically if you're PRing in this vein, we get to know who you are, we'll get to talk to you, we get to know you on a first name basis, and then it becomes a lot easier in terms of the selection process as to who we would select to take that position. We generally don't look at resumes for more than a few seconds. We generally don't conduct, phone interviews or traditional, face-to-face interviews, those sorts of things, because it's simply put, for 6 projects last semester, we got over 420 applications. So it's simply impossible to go through them all. And lots of them, frankly, quite a few of them get generated by AI nowadays. So it's hard to tell, if it's going to be easy to discuss projects with people. They we may not be able to speak the same language. They may have difficulty, characterizing the types of things that they're encountering in words. So we need to be able to interact with you on a regular basis, and the PRs are the best way for us to do that. And we find that that's the best way to promote people from applicant to intern. And then from intern, they can ride that even further, go further on that ladder to become a mentor someday, and then become a maintainer, and then on and on it goes. So that's the structure we have. I hope that helps you, Aditya.
Yeah, I was there in previous meeting. Yeah, I know.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much.
So you know the drill.
Again.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So rewatch this meeting when you get a chance, and I'll get it posted as soon as I can. All right, folks. Any other comments or questions? And if not, we'll call it a day. All right. Thanks everybody for joining. We'll see you all again soon. Next meeting will be on the 29th. Take care, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.